So, it is the middle of a Thursday night, and I'm not at work. It has been a crappy last couple of days. So, let me explain. After I went up into the mountains for the 2 days, I really think I spoiled myself being up there. Came back Wednesday and could not sleep. Nothing that I did. I laid in my bed all day long. Could not fall asleep to save my life. After it was cool, it was up in the 60s the whole time I was up in the mountains. I even had my blanket. I even covered up a little bit. Both of the 2 days it rained in the evenings, so I had like a morning walk and then crawled back into bed, and then it rained and it was beautiful, and I come back down into the city and it is just hot and loud. I suddenly could hear every car, every person. It was like the first night all over again. I just could not settle down. So I went to work Wednesday night on no sleep at all. I was cracking down energy drinks. Managed to make it through the night. Then we get to Thursday, today. I guess it's 2 a.m, so it's technically Friday, so yesterday. But you know what I mean. Thursday day. So, first, okay, the least crappy news. I mean, it's still crappy news, but found out that my absolute favorite sushi place, I know this is so silly, but my absolutely favorite sushi place apparently closed down back in June, like permanently closed forever back in June, and I did not know. So I'm kind of a little mad about that. Like, if I had known that they were going to be closed forever, I would have went and got a couple spicy tuna rolls to, say goodbye. So, Wellness Sushi on Colfax, you will be missed. In the arms of the angel. So I knew Thursday was going to be a crappy day from the start because I had scheduled already to drop my car off in the morning to have some repairs done. And it was kind of I knew I'd be dropping it off at 9 a.m, and I knew that it would probably take until about 5 is what they had said. So it was already like, I didn't sleep all day Wednesday. I don't know what I'm going to do all day Thursday. So what was supposed to happen was the EGR, the exhaust gas recirculation system. I was going to get it cleaned. Priuses have a feature where it recirculates your exhaust back into the engine, and this supposedly helps with your gas mileage. I'm not 100% certain on it. What I do know is that third generation Priuses, which is what I drive, they have a issue where the head gaskets blow. And if you blow a head gasket, your engine is gone. And it is recommended by a lot of people on the internet. There are some people who say it doesn't matter. But there are significant portion of people on the internet who say at about 100,000 miles, you need to get that EGR cleaned, and then you should continue to do so every 50,000 miles to prevent your head gasket from blowing. So, when I bought the car, it was at 187, and there's no listing in the Carfax of that having ever been done. So, I called around, I got some estimates for prices, and then I just, was saving up and waiting for a chance to do it. So I knew it was going to eat like a chunk of my savings. It is kind of expensive to do. So it was just something I knew was going to happen. I knew I was going to have to do soon. I knew it was going to eat a chunk of my savings. It is what it is. I'm not blaming anyone or acting like it's a shock or anything. Like, I was prepared for it. So I called around. I made an appointment with a place that specializes with hybrids. A place that specializes in hybrids. And it was going to be a little over $1,000 to do it, which fine. I've got it in savings. I've got more than enough. I can manage this. And I knew they would, I tried to schedule it for a day off, knowing I would be stuck without a car all day. But unfortunately, it was going to be like another 3 weeks if I waited if I waited for a day that I would have off that they had an availability. And I just, at this point, I was like, man, I don't want to wait. I don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable waiting. So I took the day that they had available, which was yesterday. Made plans, was going to just deal with it. So I'm already coming into this with no sleep. Originally was going to, I had messaged my ex-husband and asked if he could come and pick me up when I dropped the car off and let me crash on his couch. And he had said, yeah. And then dropped me back off when I got the call. His job is typically very flexible. So, he's had plenty of times where, he just gets up in the morning and is like, I don't feel like going in. And then he calls in and it's fine. It's just, he can choose to work from home. He can choose to, come in a little late, leave early, or just take a day off randomly. It's typically okay. So that was the plan. It was going to suck, but it was a plan. So it started off, I had talked to him and told, here's what time I'm dropping the car off. I couldn't drop it off any earlier because I had physical therapy. They had said, between like 8 to 9, but I had physical therapy from 7:30 to 8:30. So it was kind of, last minute. 9 was when I was going to have to drop it off. And when I let my ex-husband know about that, he could not work around his schedule. So, yeah, it just couldn't happen, and I should have known better. So I kind of, was not going to be able to sleep all day Thursday too, and I was like, God, am I going to go into work on 48 hours of no sleep? Went to the library for a little bit, charged up my phone a little, tried to read some books, but I was just so exhausted. And I left my damn earbuds at work, so I couldn't even listen to stuff and just chill out. I kept dozing off in the chair at the library, and they were not they did not want people sleeping there, which fair. So I left, ended up paying for an Uber, and went to there is a place here in Denver called The Gathering Place. It's not a homeless shelter. It is like a resource center for homeless. It typically focuses for women and LGBTQ. They serve free meals. They have a food pantry. They have a little clinic. But most importantly, they have what's called the nap room. So they have this little teeny tiny room in the back, and it's got 3 bunk beds. So that's 6 beds total. And you can sleep in there for a couple hours if you need to. And it's not... I know there's going to be comments. It's it must be nice. Men don't have that. It's not nice. There's no bedding, there's no sheets, there's no pillows. You're sleeping on top of plastic that smells very, very badly from all the other people that have slept and peed and vomited, and it's not nice. There is, it's a resource center for people who are homeless, so there is a significant homeless population that utilizes it, both men and women. But that means, sometimes you're in there trying to take a nap, and there is a woman on the floor screaming that someone is trying to melt her face. That sucks that she doesn't have her medication and a place to be fucking safe. At the time, I was just thinking, I hope they do, because I want to sleep. I know, it's super selfish, but exhausted summer is a selfish summer. That's... so I got maybe 2 rough hours of sleep. It was definitely up and down, waking up every few minutes, so it wasn't a set 2 hours. And then the car police called me. Apparently, my water system, coolant system, so the electric water pump system, apparently that was failing and needed to be replaced ASAP. They recommended, you're not going to survive a couple more days if you don't get that replaced. So that was $700 on top of the $1,000 for the EGR. And then I also needed my oil changed, which I knew needed to happen. When you idle the car a lot, you should get the oil changed more frequently than what the recommended timeline is. And I knew I was getting really close to that, and I was just going to get it done today, when they do everything all at once. So that needed to be done, and it just... I thought I would be eating through about half of my savings, and with all of the additional repairs and expenses, and man, oil changes are expensive. I know, price of oil is up right now, so everything is expensive. Everything is just expensive. So that ended up eating through most of my savings. And not getting any sleep. Am I like in your spot? There's like 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're leaving. Sorry, there's a truck like in the lane just sitting outside my car instead of pulling over. I'm like on a road that truckers drive on and sleep on, and people sleep on. There's a lot of cars and trucks, and he was just sitting there, and I'm like, am I taking your spot? But no, he was just out there, I think, waiting for someone, because someone came up and got in the truck, and then he drove off. So yeah. To get out of the way, because I know that there have been comments. Yes, I know I bought a used car. These things are going to happen. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. I'm not expecting someone else to pay for it or deal with it. I know that these things are going to happen. That's why I had savings. I'm not completely broke. Yeah, it ate through most of my savings, but today is payday. I'll just, start the process of building the savings back up. And that's just what happens when you buy a used car. Things break. I mean, I'm pretty sure when you buy a new car, sometimes things break. You just have a warranty. Although those, can be an issue themselves. But anyway, so I'm not without funds. I have, a little bit in my account. I have a little bit left in savings. I'll get paid in 5 hours. My paycheck will hit my account, and I'll just start over again, building the savings back up. It was going to happen. It was bound to happen. It's just, in the sooner versus later, I was really, really hoping for later, and I got sooner. So, and now my phone keeps overheating if I record for more than a couple of minutes. So, does that mean I need a new phone? I don't know. So, yeah. Lots of the big expenses for the car repair, one expected, one unexpected. All of the little tiny things that I figured would get tacked on. There was a lot more of those than I expected. A few things were a little more than I had expected. I knew the amount that I was given a quote, the estimate for. I figured, probably add 50% onto that, because that's how it always ends up. And it ended up being a lot more repair and a lot more little things. So, yeah, it is what it is. And to be fair, 100% on me. My savings, I had already got into my savings a little bit. I bought a few things to try to help manage living in the car. A few things that I thought I don't need that. I can live without that. And I'm finding that I can't. Very excited. Supposedly in a couple of weeks, I bought a little teeny tiny, it says it's a cooler. It's basically a swamp cooler, an evaporative cooler. It's very little. It's made for a small space. Supposedly the battery lasts about 9 hours. I know swamp coolers in a car is an issue because they put a lot of moisture out, and that can cause, mold and issues. Colorado is extremely dry. If you live in Colorado for more than 5 minutes, you're going to hear about 100 people say, "We need the moisture," every time it even slightly sprinkles. I have the temperature thing that I keep in the back so that if I wake up, I can check how hot it is and make a decision based off of that. But it also gives me the humidity. And I'm lucky if my humidity is over 30%. It's pretty low. Maybe that's just low to me because I lived in Texas for 10 years and I lived in Austin where there's a river, and if you weren't swimming through the air, then you were like, oh, it's not very humid today. You know, it was always 400% humidity. So I come up here and it's 30% humidity and I'm like, God, it's so dry. Do I live in a desert? But yeah, so I spent money. I pulled some money out of savings already, got a few things for the car, got the little cooler because it's been so hot, and I'm gonna, when that arrives, I'll do like a video about that. It got recommended by someone here on YouTube, so I'll talk more about that when it arrives. But one of the things is, a lot of people in the reviews said that, like, if your humidity is anything above 50%, you don't want this in your car. And I'm like, mine has never gone above 30%. So maybe I'll risk it. And maybe it'll be a terrible idea and it'll be one more stupid decision that I've made. But, you know, that's life. A series of stupid decisions. And then when you finally get everything figured out, you're too old to make any more decisions. So what does it matter? So, yeah. So I've taken the night off. I am sitting in my car. I decided, I was so tired. I was trying to like drive to work and my eyes kept unfocusing and things kept getting blurry, and I was like, it is physically not safe for me to be operating a motor vehicle right now. I have gone so long without sleep, without decent sleep. And I know that there are people that can go longer. I know that when I was in my 20s, 3-4 days, no sleep, didn't bother me. I know that there are people my age and older who will say, oh, I go 12 years without sleep and it doesn't. Great. I am a person that needs sleep. It does bother me. It does affect me. It physically causes issues. So I was so tired. I'm like, no. So I pulled over, checked on my phone, and I have 24 hours of vacation times built up already, which is pretty good for not having been here very long. And I know I'm still just an MHA and I'm not career and I shouldn't be taking any days off. And I get told that all the time, anytime I talk to people at work, they're always like, remember, the biggest thing is not to miss any days. I know, I haven't missed any days. I've been consistently showing up on time, staying to the end of my shift. I work, but I just could not tonight. And like I said, I had 24 hours in vacation time according to my the virtual payroll thing that we log in and get. So I just called in and used the option to take 8 hours from that. So I should still get paid for 8 hours. Even though I'm not there, I'm just taking 8 hours of my paid vacation. And I found a spot to sleep. There's where I work, which is like a big distribution center for USPS. And then like across the street, there is, actually I think it's like 2 streets down, but it feels across the street. there is another plant that also USPS, but they do something slightly different. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, we're basically right next to each other. There is the main road that comes off the highway that goes down the front in front of both of these buildings that I take to work. But if you go around and come up behind the buildings, there's this little road back here that the trucks come in and out of from both buildings. It's got all the gates and stuff. And along the side of the road, I take this road a lot when I'm going to work, just because it tends to be less traffic. Less traffic. Like, there's the trucks, but there's not 50 million cars going down it, because the main road is a pretty busy, like, major road, and there's a lot of businesses and stuff. So I'll come back this way, I'll get off and then I'll come back this way until I get to where I need to turn, and then I get back onto the main road for like a block, and then I can pull into my work. And so it just keeps me out of the majority of traffic. There's always trucks parked back here, always cars parked back here. So this is where I chose to, I rested for a few minutes. I think like an hour. I sat and just closed my eyes, and I didn't really fall asleep, but I just felt like I could drive a little bit, and I made it this far, and then I pulled over and sat here for a couple minutes, and I was like, no, taking the night off. So put up all my blinds, and like all the cars that are parked along this road, like I always, as I drive past them, I always see like majority of them have middle of the night, and they'll have blinds up, and not all of them are stealthing it. There's a lot of like, well, that's a very obvious, you have the silver foil blinds up and it's the middle of the night. So so I knew it wouldn't be a problem. I just kind of pulled in behind someone, found a little spot, parallel parked, put up all my blackout stuff, and crashed hard. As soon as I closed my eyes, I was asleep, which shows how tired I was, because it usually takes me like 10-15 minutes to lay there before I finally pass out. So I set an alarm so I would only sleep like halfway through the night, because I didn't want to finally get sleep but then screw up my whole schedule. So I slept until about 1:30, and then I got up and ate a little bit, did a few things, and now I'm just kind of sitting here debating if I want to stay here till the sun comes up, or if I want to move on to one of those truck stops. I might move on to a truck stop there, but not for an hour or two. Probably I'll stay here till about, I might stay here till 4 or 5 and then move on. Just because I know early in the morning, a lot of trucks will pull up, drop their trailers overnight, and then go to wherever they're going, either to the truck stop or down this road. And then we fill the trailers up slowly overnight, and then about 4 or 5 in the morning, we call the truckers and we're like, your truck is full. And we have like a little, I don't know how they do it at this plant because I'm closer to the other plant, but at my plant we have like a little spotter truck that comes and tows the trailers to a little side lot and lines them up, and then the trucks come in and rehook up their trailers and leave, because stuff has to be dispatched early in the morning. So I'll probably stay until right around the start of dispatch, because I suspect it's going to get really busy That's when it's going to start really truckers waking up and coming in and showing up to pick up the trailers. And I don't want to be sitting here during dispatch. So that is my plan. That has been my Thursday. Today, I have a doctor's appointment at 9, and then right after the doctor's appointment at 9:30, I have physical therapy. Luckily, they're in the same place. I saw a couple comments about, like, changing doctors. Unfortunately, I can't. USPS contracts through a service, Concentra, and they have like a series of urgent cares attached to like physical therapy and a couple other things. So if you get hurt on work, they send you to Concentra. So that's where I went, the Concentra. I can't really change if I want stuff to be handled, because it's all, Concentra has the contract with USPS, at least locally. I don't know if that's like nationwide or locally, but here Concentra has our contract. So, and there's only like 2 doctors in the one that I went to. I went to the one that was closest to my work. I don't want to drive all over the city to find a different one just for a different doctor. So I have the doc I see here tomorrow, today, whatever, and then I have physical therapy. We'll see what's going on. I saw a comment where someone was saying, stop telling the doctor that you hurt so bad. I'm not telling the doctor that I hurt so bad. Like I said in my previous video, I've been telling him for about 2 weeks now that, like, I feel fine, and I do feel fine. It's just about 5 in the morning, when most of my shift is done, my back starts to get really sore. And I mean, before I hurt myself, that's what would happen. I'm pretty sure anyone who does manual labor, that's around the end of your shift, your back starts to hurt. So that's what I've been telling him. That's how I feel. But it's mostly, there is a muscle in the middle of my back that when I hurt my back at first was just, the doctor described it as a brick. That muscle would not relax, and it's right in the center. It's kind of like an anchor for your shoulders and other muscles around your back. And it was just a brick. He could not get it to loosen. So most of why I'm still, unfortunately, on restricted is he keeps, checking that muscle, and he's like, it's still just in a constant state of tension. I've been doing my physical therapy. They tried acupuncture, like a specific type of acupuncture called dry needling. And that eased a lot of the pain. It went from, like, I've been in a significant less pain since the dry needling, but it's not been enough. And I have like this massage thing that he gave me that I keep in the car, that I work on that knot. I'm just can't get it to release. And yesterday in physical therapy, I was doing this like lifting thing that he wants me to do, and I felt it might have just been the exhaustion. It was probably just the exhaustion, because I felt like I was doing it right. Like I was trying to pay attention to my body and which muscles I'm using and the angle that I'm bending, that I'm, squatting down to pick it up and lift it up. And I got like halfway through it, and that specific spot in the center of my back just screamed bloody murder. And I could not lift anymore at that point. I told the physical therapist, and he was like, well, that means you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, I probably am doing it wrong. I just am not aware that I'm doing it wrong. And it was probably just, because I was tired from a lack of sleep. I was probably misinterpreting my body. I was trying to, lift with my legs, keep my back at a very low angle, don't bend, keep it up, don't use back muscles like he's been showing me. I felt I was doing that, but I obviously wasn't doing that. Kind of feels silly to not be aware of what your body is doing and doing it wrong. And it's it's my body. I should be able to know what I'm doing, but I clearly don't. So that really hurt yesterday. He pulled me off of the regular exercises and had me doing stretches instead. And once I started doing the stretches, the pain went down to a dull roar. It was manageable. And probably would have been better if I could have slept and taken one of my anti-inflammatories and taken a pain pill and then crashed for the day, but couldn't do that. So back feels okay right now. It's still a little sore, and I think that's just residual from whatever I did yesterday. I'm hoping that I took an anti-inflammatory. I'm not taking a pain pill right now because those knock me out. I take one and I'm sleeping forever. So I just took an anti-inflammatory, which tends to help. And then we'll see what happens today. I go back to the doctor, do my physical therapy, get paid, go to sleep, get up, go to work. That's kind of my life right now. Don't really have time or energy to do anything else. Wish that I did. I miss hobbies. So that's where I'm at right now. Took a day off, blew through most of my savings, got some car repairs done. Going to get a little more sleep after physical therapy. Right now I'm going to eat. I got a protein yogurt. It is 11 grams of protein. It is berry and dark chocolate. I just bought that before I left earlier today, so it's been sitting in my little cooler lunchbox there. And then I bought a double berry protein smoothie to go with it. So that is my breakfast. Lots of protein, lots of berries. I know, lots of sugar. There was comments about that, but it's also got high in fiber, and it's strawberry, blueberry, banana smoothie, and then the yogurt. It's got a little granola cup too, so it's not just the yogurt and fruit. It's also got granola, so there's some carbs. It's a mix of berry yogurt with berries, granola, and dark chocolate bits. So I'm hoping that'll be yummy. Grabbed those earlier, so I'm gonna eat those, and then I'm probably going to play around on my phone, maybe watch some videos until it's time to leave the spot. And that's been my day. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I just I don't know, felt like I needed to tell someone about it, so I'm telling the internet. I don't know. Yeah, the trucks are starting to drive through, so it's probably gonna be... Yeah, it's already 3:30. It took me this long to film because I had to keep shutting my phone down. Well, it kept shutting itself down because it was overheating, and then it would put up a warning. And hopefully that doesn't mean I need a new phone, because that's not something I'm willing to spend money on right now, but who knows? We'll see. I'm gonna go eat, and bye.